Welcome to Markets Now. I'm Michelle Rook with Rich Nelson of Allendale. And Rich, let's talk about kind of the weather outlook here as we go into the planting season. This setup is very similar to what it was last year with this open winter and guys getting antsy to get in the field.
As it stands, a drying forecast, still a drying spring is the general narrative. The question for us really is about that yield determination period, which is midsummer. So that's still one area we're still looking at as maybe a potential risk factor here.
And Rich, we don't worry so much about being dry during planting, but when do we need to be concerned about it being dry?
So our main risk, our main yield determination period for corn and soybeans is actually not at planting, and it's also not in the vegetative growth stage. It's really whether exactly at reproduction and just after. So that reproductive phase and then the kernel fill phase, that's really the big bonanza of yield determination. So, we had our discussion from 2 years ago with dry conditions through June, and then we had 3 weeks of normal rains. Final yields were only down 2% from trend 2 years ago. The question for us this year is that midsummer weather forecast. As it stands right now, it would suggest a light risk premium here.
How big of a yield hit do we have here with weather before it does change prices?
So that's a big question for us. Certainly for the corn side, we need to really knock this crop. We need to have about a 9% yield hit to really change the story for corn, this rising stock story. So we can certainly argue a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% yield hit. Maybe that's reasonable. That may not be enough to really get the corn market sharply changed yet. So we'll have to watch midsummer rains very carefully. The discussion for a new crop is actually not with corn. It's really about soybeans. We're starting out with a stable balance sheet, and any yield risk right there really does change the story for soybeans relatively quickly.
All right. Thanks for that update today. Rich Nelson with Ellen Dale. We'll have more Ag Day coming up.